In this lecture, we'll go over the different ways of duplicating objects and also linking duplicates to each other. Now, to simply duplicate an object, we can select it, press Shift and D to duplicate it, and then just move it over like that. Now, each one of these duplicates is actually entirely its own object with all its own data. For example, I can go into edit mode of this one and edit it, and you can see that doesn't change the other one. Now, if we wanted to create duplicates that were linked to each other in such a way that if we edit one, then the duplicate would change too, then we use linked duplication. So let me delete this chair right there. And let's select this chair, and I'll press Alt and D this time to create a linked duplicate. Now in object mode, these objects are still independent from each other, so we can move them around, rotate them, or even scale them independently from the other linked duplicates. But if we go into edit mode, you can see that if we change the mesh data of one object, it's going to change the mesh data of the other linked duplicates as well. So simply put, in this case, any changes in edit mode get copied to the other linked duplicates, and any changes in object mode do not. And that also means we can add modifiers independently to the objects. So for example, if I added a bevel modifier to the one chair, that kind of information does not get copied to the other linked duplicates. But all the mesh data is still linked, as you can see. So that can definitely come in handy in certain circumstances. Now, linked duplicates are really useful when you have a single model that will be used a lot throughout the scene, like the chairs at this table, for example. If I continue pressing Alt and D to make linked duplicates all around the table like this, I now have 6 chairs, and if I all of a sudden decide I wanted to change the style of the model, I wouldn't have to edit every chair or even reduplicate the chair all around the table. They're all linked together, so I can simply change the model of one of them, like if I want to slant the back a little bit, and it changes all of them at the same time. So as you can see, that can be extremely useful when you have a single model used throughout the scene. I think this also speeds up your scene a tiny bit because every linked object is using the same mesh data, so that means less calculations or something like that. It's more efficient somehow. Now let's say you wanted to unlink one of these chairs so that you can make changes to just that one chair without affecting the others. Well, we'll need to make sure the chair mesh is something called a single user, which basically means it's not linked to or being used by anything else. So let me select this chair right here, and let's go over to the object data buttons right here. Now the object data properties over here show us all the data that's contained within the object, including the mesh data right here. So plane 0.002 is the name of the chair mesh information, and you can see the number over here is 6, which means there are 6 objects using that mesh data, and that makes sense because we have 6 chairs and they're all linked. Now, in order to make this one chair a single user, we would simply click on this button here, and that's it. It creates a new mesh data block for this object here. So now this mesh data is independent from all the other linked duplicates. So this object is no longer linked to the others. Now let me delete all these chairs, and we'll start again with one. Let's say I wanted to make linked duplicates all around the table, but I accidentally used Shift and D to create regular duplicates all around the table. Just like that. Now because I used Shift and D, these are regular duplicates, so I can edit one of them and it's not going to change the others. They're all independent objects. But let's say I wanted to then link all of these together so that when I edit one of them, they all change. For that, we'll select all of the chair objects and then press Ctrl and L for the Make Links menu and choose Object Data. What that's going to do is it's going to take all of the selected chairs and it's going to link all of their data to the active selection right here. So now when I edit any of these chairs, you can see that they're all linked duplicates now. All of their mesh data is linked, so when we change the mesh in edit mode, all the other linked duplicates change as well. Now I really want to emphasize what's going on here. All of these chairs did not have to actually look like chairs in order to link them to this chair right here. And let me show you what I mean. Let me delete all them, and I'll add in a sphere. And I'll place spheres where each of the chairs should be, like that. Now let me select all the spheres, and I'll select the chair last so it's the active selection. Now when I link all the spheres to the chair here, it's basically just going to copy the active selection's data onto the other objects, which will also overwrite whatever the existing data was. In this case, the sphere meshes will become chair meshes. So let me press Ctrl and L, and I'll make link to the object data, and there you go. Move them down a little bit. And let's rotate these around. And there we go. So now all of these objects are linked to each other, just like we've seen before. And that's all there is to it. And linking works with most types of objects as well, like lamps, for example. So let me add in a sunlight here. And you can consider the object data to be things like the strength value here and the color value there. So for example, if I press Alt and D to create a linked duplicate of the lamp and I move it over here, and let's change the color to orange. If I select the original lamp, you can see that the data between them is linked, and this one becomes orange now as well. Same thing with strength. That's up to about 2 now. If I select the other one, you can see that changed as well. And just like with all linked duplicates, these objects themselves are actually independent from each other, so we can rotate them in different ways and things like that. But it's their data that gets linked. And that actually pretty much does it for duplication and linked duplication. So that'll do it for this lecture, and I'll see you in the next one.